Everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. I have a few updates to share about little Maddie G. First up, the big news that dropped yesterday about two new prosecutors that were added to Matt Gaetz's case. According to two sources, approximately 3 months ago, two Washington, D.C. prosecutors became part of the Florida team that's investigating Gaetz for potentially trafficking of a minor, obstruction of justice, fraud, possibly other various crimes. And the background and experience of these two prosecutors truly speaks volumes. One is said to be a public corruption investigator with expertise in crimes involving exploitation of children. The second prosecutor, a man named Todd Gee, is the deputy chief of the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section. That division of the DOJ apparently oversees all major criminal investigations into any federal, state, or local officials' alleged misconduct. So Gaetz can keep blustering all he wants, but he hears the clock ticking. The other bit of news is that apparently for a couple of days, I think it was, Gaetz wasn't allowed to practice law in Florida because he hadn't paid his Florida dues for the Florida State Bar. As of July, Gaetz was a member, his dues were up to date, but then he allowed them to lapse. Today, now they're saying, oh no, he's been reinstated, blah, blah, blah. His office tried to paint it as this is just his way of showing his constituents basically that he's serious about them being his only priority. But other lawyers that spoke with journalists said, you know, if you want to do that, there's an easier way to do that. You basically just pay the inactive fee payment of $175 to remain a member in good standing, but you're not a practicing attorney, but you're basically in suspense, but you haven't been kicked out. And consider that the full payment is only $265. So Gaetz can't come up with that fee, or at least until the other day he couldn't. Maybe he can't, which kind of leads me to the next bit of Gaetz news, which is that his fundraising has come to a screeching halt. In each of the first 2 quarters of this year, Gaetz brought in well over $1 million in each of those quarters. However, according to recent campaign filings, Gaetz raised just over $500,000 in the third quarter of this year. And he spent more than that over that same period of time. So he's basically having to dip into his reserves to cover all of his costs, which consists of a lot of legal fees. As I recently told you, he lawyered up in a big way recently with 3 out-of-state attorneys, all trial attorneys, and some of whom have a history of defending people in cases where there's sexual impropriety, let's say. So I guess that countrywide tour that he did with QAnon Karen didn't go so well. I guess they're not really raking in the cash anymore. My last bit of news, though, about Gigantic Cranium is that he says someone's trying to kill him, to which I say,
help, police, murder.
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I don't wish death on Gaetz. I just wish love you long time prison sentence. So, but here's the deal. Here's what's going on with this so-called hitman. Gaetz took to the House floor and he proclaimed, quote, "I think someone may be trying to kill me. If they are successful, I would like my constituents and my family to know who stopped their arrest." He then went on to say that he received a private Twitter message saying, quote, "Looky here, pal, I lived in Portland. Portland has ordered a hit on you. I accepted the contract. Have a good day." Okay, where to start with this? I don't know if Gaetz knows this, but Portland isn't a person. How does an entire city in Oregon place a hit on someone? Really? The whole city got together. The whole city hates Gaetz so much. They all chipped in. Anyway, and hitmen typically don't identify their mark before they go and hunt them down. That's really not a great way to catch someone off guard and take them out. Just saying, I'm no expert, but now I'm not saying like a crazy person couldn't have messaged Gaetz and means to do him harms. I'm just saying it sounds more like someone's trying to punk him and trying to make fun of the Republicans and their whole Antifa, Portland, soy boy, communism BS. Anyway, Gaetz alleges that this so-called Portland hitman traveled to DC with the intent to kill him, and that Capitol Police recommended, that's a direct quote, that this person be arrested. But Gaetz said on the House floor that, quote, the Department of Justice refused to do so. Then he claimed that if he was Democrat Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar, the hitman would have already been arrested. So seriously, and he said there's a double standard. Yeah, there is a double standard, but it's not like this. It's not what Gaetz is saying. Because I remember family members warning about an anti-Dem man traveling to DC to do harm. And he ended up live streaming a multi-hour bomb threat on Facebook. What was it, just last month? No one arrested him. No one surveilled him up until it was seemingly too late. I mean, we got lucky that he didn't actually have any bombs. And it's funny how you don't hear Gaetz talking about the double standard used on and before January 6th. There were specific threats made and planning that took place online for weeks prior to January 6th. If those same threats, those same very specific threats and that planning was going on online and being done by BLM supporters or people affiliated with Antifa, Trump would have had them locked up. He would have had them rounded up and thrown in prison, if not shot, without due process, as he did with someone else. What a hypocritical walking testicle Gaetz is. He couldn't in a million years handle the number and type of death threats that Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, AOC, all of those women of color have received since the day they took office. He is the poster child for white male privilege. He has no clue what it's like to truly be targeted on a relentless, continual basis. He's such a joke. Anyway, guys, I'll keep you posted on all of this. As always, thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care. I'll talk with you soon.